Thank you, everyone, for joining today's session of Real Estate Experts Conversations with Chima. Today, I have a very special guest with me, Michael Guye with Baltimore City Housing. He's the director, guys. He's the one that signs your checks if you need money for any programs in the city. And Michael is going to be here sharing all the valuable information that you need to be able to be successful once you purchasing a home. Thanks for coming on board, Michael.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And so, Michael, please tell the audience about yourself and your experience in the business.
Okay, I've been here at the city for 31 years. I've been director of this department for 14 years. I was initially hired in this department as a real estate agent too, and over time moved my way up. This department handles all the incentive programs to purchase here in Baltimore City. I started out basically in St. Ambrose. I used to manage their homeownership division, used to do all the counseling and the outreach. And during that time, I was very active in advocacy work dealing with the NAACP. I was the president of their housing department or housing committee. Worked with many major lending institutions at that time, reviewing loans that were turned down by the bank, and we were trying to get these individuals back on board. So I did a lot of work there, and did a lot of work protesting to the state to get money at that time for home ownership. So I have a big background in advocacy work and nonprofit work at St. Ambrose before coming to the city, where I kind of manage and create programs to assist buyers here in the city.
Nice. That's a lot of years, a lot of experience, and it's like we were talking about earlier, how the market's gone from up to down to the cycles that we've gone through. And to imagine that interest rates now are in the 2% is unbelievable. I know when you started, before me, it was
14%.
Is it 14% curve?
14%. Yes.
I can't imagine. We'll be out of business by now if that's the case.
Oh,
yeah. So Michael, tell the audience about the programs that are currently available to buyers.
Okay, but before I get into the programs, I just want you to understand that what we offer basically are loans. They are forgivable loans. And to access these loans, there are some things that you, the buyer, have to make sure you have in perspective. And that is, we require a down payment from you, a minimum of $1,000 of your money in the deal. No more, no money down deals. For some of our programs, we require a home inspection, a special type of home inspection, which is called a housing quality inspection, HQS inspection. So for those particular programs, they're looking for peel and flick and chip and paint and any other code violations that can affect the ownership of the property. We suggest that you go to your bigger lenders. However, we allow all the lenders to participate. We don't charge them anything or have any formal application for them to participate. We want everybody to go to their own lender, but we do not deal basically with a lot of brokers because they're like the middlemen. The people who provide us the paperwork have to be the actual entity that is providing the loan.
Yes.
There are a couple products that we do not allow our buyers to use. So basically, our buyers can only use a fixed rate mortgage. During my years coming through this industry, there were a lot of products out there that weren't really good for the buyer.
Exactly.
Such as the no documentation loans and interest-only loans and adjustable rate and 80-20 conventional loans.
The balloon.
We don't, balloons, yes. But we don't allow our buyers to use any of that stuff anymore. Hopefully it doesn't try to come back in the market. But we mandate that you have to get a fixed rate loan only. And for a lot of our programs now, we suggest that you deal with lending institutions that have maybe done some work with us because they know how the process goes to make it, to help get through it successfully. Because I've seen a couple of individuals use lenders from out of town who don't know our product. And before you know it, that so much time has gone that their documents expired, so that's not good for the buyer. So we have a lot of lenders here that are participating with our incentive programs. Now, getting into our actual incentive programs, well, before I get there too, I want you to understand that we have a website, dhcd.baltimorecity.gov. So you can actually go to a tracker on our website and look at the program that you're interested in using and see if in fact there's any money in that program.
If there's funding for it. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So, nowadays that's extremely important because due to budget cuts and things of that nature, we're not able to do as many loans as we did in the past. So it's important that agents should be looking at that tracker to see if in fact if the borrower is going to use a certain type of product, that product is well funded.
And I'll put the sites in the details section below.
Okay, great. Because of budget cuts and the funding level has dropped, we somewhat divided it into biannually. So for the first half of the year, from July 1st until December 31st, there's so many loans available in each program. Once that money runs out, because it's first come, first served, once that money runs out, it's gone for that half of the year. It will not come back until January 1st, which is the funding of the new cycle. So from January 1st through July 1st, if the money lasts that long, then you can see how it's tracked on the tracker. But with the budget cuts so low, that money could dry out a lot earlier than July the 1st. So it's important that you look at that tracker. On the BHIP side, we have the actual incentive programs, and we have five major programs, and we have a staff of 5 that manage these programs. I personally now manage the Buy in Baltimore incentive. Danica Owens, she manages the Vacant to Value program and the Baltimore City Employee program. Daybeth Saunders handles the Live Near Your Work program, and Brenda Winston manages the Community Development Block Grant program, which is our only federally funded program. Very extremely popular program, but it has a lot of limitations to it. So when I speak about that, I'll get into those limitations and how to access programs. Now, as of July.
And sorry, Michael. Sorry, these 5 programs are all within the city.
Yes.
The city programs, and the viewers can see more about this, and the listeners can go on your website to access these to see more. But we will cover details about these programs during this show. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so the first program I want to talk to you about is the Vacant to Value program, which is a $10,000 incentive. This is an incentive whereas that was initiated back in 2010, and it's a program where you can purchase a vacant property. The property has to be eligible for the incentive. By that I mean the property has to have had a vacant building notice on it provided by the city for at least 1 full year before purchase and rehab of that property. Now, when we established this program, there were quite a few small developers in the city who actually purchased these properties and gut rehab these houses and sell them to individuals. So you're getting a house that's totally done. Or you can, in fact, come to the city, we have a vacancy value department, and their number is 410-396-4129. You can actually go to their department and get a list of vacant properties that the city owns, that you can actually purchase from the city and get a loan from a bank to gut rehab this property. It's a very intense project, so that's why a lot of people tend to buy ones that are already done, as opposed to getting in that process themselves if they're not sure what they're doing.
So the list, sorry the question. The list is the viewer, the listener can come to, is it through your office that they get the list of homes?
No, that would be from the vacancy value department, which is
okay.
Downstairs on the 10th floor.
Okay.
So that list can actually come from them.
Okay.
So, there are a lot of properties out there that are not owned by the city, but may have a vacant building notice on it, or if not, then you have to negotiate with the seller or the owner of the property to determine the price. But for it to be eligible for our program, the inspector for that area has to have been out there and inspected that property 1 year prior to you purchasing it, to make sure that that property is on the city's list with a vacant building notice on it. So all properties have to have a vacant building notice on it. Okay.
Yeah.
With that, our process now that has begun in June of this year is all in electronic application. So you can actually go to a site on our website. It shows you a neighborly system and apply for the vacancy value program or any other incentive that we offer. However, this is a new system and it has its clicks to it, and we're working those out as we go along. So basically now when you go to the lender to apply for a mortgage, the lender would be the entity that actually applies for the incentive for you, the buyer. So it's important that you understand that new process that we have now, and that's for all of our programs. So the vacancy value incentive offers you $10,000 toward the purchase of the property, and that $10,000 can be used for all your settlement costs, and everything over and above that will be applied to the principal of the first mortgage. We don't allow you to get money back at the settlement table. Okay, we want that money put into the
back into the home, right? Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
now this program, as with all the others, requires the borrower to have some funds in the transaction as well.
Exactly. At least a minimum of $1,000 of their money.
Okay.